This is atheism in a nutshell. One person says, there's a God. An atheist says, can you prove that? They say, no. The atheist says, I don't believe you then. That's it. That's all it is. You see, if you took every holy book there's ever been, every religious book, every bits of spirituality, and hid them or destroyed them, okay? They went away and never, right? And then you took every science book and destroyed that. In 1,000 years' time, those science books would be back exactly the same, because the tests would always turn out the same.
Right.
Those religious books would either never exist or they'd be totally different, because there's no test.
Ricky Gervais tells us that atheism in a nutshell goes like this. One person says, there is a God. The atheist says, can you prove it? The theist says no, and then the atheist simply replies, then I don't believe you. But this is a straw man. After all, many theists do offer arguments and evidence for God's existence. So what if the conversation actually went something like this? One person says, there is a God. The atheist says, can you prove it? And the theist responds, well, it depends what you mean by proof. I can't prove God exists strictly in a mathematical sense, but we can hardly prove anything in life like that. I can't mathematically prove that my wife loves me, but that doesn't mean I don't have good reason to believe that she loves me. If by prove you mean something like provide reasonable evidence, then sure. In that sense, there is good reason to believe that God exists. Many have argued that God is the best explanation of key aspects of reality: the origin and fine-tuning of the universe, the origin of life, consciousness, objective morality, and even miracles like the resurrection of Jesus. Taken together, these provide a cumulative case for God's existence. Now, Ricky can still say, I don't believe you. Okay, fair enough. But now the ball is in his court. By the way, if you're an atheist, thanks for watching, and I'm glad you're here, then you affirm the proposition, there is no God. And if you believe there is no God, then you should have reasons for that belief. Simply saying, I don't believe you, seems like you're just trying to dodge your own burden of proof. Next, Ricky says that if you destroyed all the science books, then they'd come back the same in 1,000 years. But if you destroyed all the religious books, like say the Bible, then they'd come back different or not at all. Okay. So what? All Ricky has shown is that religion isn't science, which everyone already knew. Yet Ricky seems to think this somehow disproves religion. Look, if you destroyed all of Newton's writings, could scientists rediscover Newton's laws of motion through the scientific method? Yes. Could they rediscover a letter written by Newton to one of his friends? No. But does that mean the letter Newton wrote is false or can't be trusted? Of course not. It just means the scientific method doesn't apply to some things. For example, if someone destroyed all the testimonies and historical books of the Holocaust, then that record would be lost forever, but that wouldn't mean the Holocaust never happened. So yes, Ricky, religion is not science. Testimony is not science. History is not science. And that's okay. The scientific method is great for studying repeatable physical processes, but it was not designed to discover some things, like historical events, personal testimony, metaphysical truths, and a host of other things. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.